Yo, what is up, guys? Here again with a new type of video. We're gonna see how this goes and see if you guys like this. What's up? Yeah, what are we doing? I started doing some DB grinding. All right. Um, I'm like I need to get some reps in, and locals ain't cutting it, and I want to get more reps in than I'm physically able to by just going to one local today. So and I started thinking about cards I want to start testing, which also gave me the reason to want to start playing DB and just grinding out. I think part of the reason why I wouldn't play DB before was because I felt like these games took a long time because you got to type back and forth, it takes work, and I was losing a lot because I was playing old water, and playing old water was tough. So now they're playing new water. New water's crazy. New water's awesome, and it's not even new support yet. So bear in mind this is not new support. But I could definitely do that too. Well, or just give me like a week or two and I can do it anyways. But yeah, so here we are today. We're going over a match I had. I've only done like 3 matches or so, 3 or 4 matches. And yeah, so this is a DeepSea King Turbo. Yeah, it's a 40 card list versus Fiendsmith Bystial, which I'm really happy we get to see this matchup because I finally get to show you guys what's been kind of going on and like these what these board breaking games look like. But yeah, so we win the roll here, and obviously we do brick. We do not brick. We technically have a starter, so this is not a brick hand, technically. But he has an Ash Blossom, so it's not looking great. So we go Ash Blossom, send Perulia, and yeah, you're gonna ash that for sure. If you didn't ash that, then we were just cooking him. And so here I decide I'm doing one last minute like, oh hey, what does Dragoon search off of squad again? If I normal squad discard Dragoons, absolutely nothing. So yeah, we're just kind of passing turn here because we have Perulia, standby phase, activate Perulia, and then he starts going here, and I'm actually just gonna let this one fly because spoiler alert, he just kills me here. But the next 2 games are a little more interesting. Game 2's not super interesting either, but game 3's a little more. So yeah, he's just going like Fiendsmith Lions, going to the fusion, recycling back to summon Desiree, and then they links into this Agnum Day, and then summons Magnum up from hand. I get a draw for Pike. Nothing good enough here though. Yeah, then battle Magnum at swing. I kind of knew I was dead here. But you gotta have him play it out as well. So again, he activates Agnum Day's effect to go to the spell and trap, sends back Desiree, and then Desiree gets an attack boost for every link material attached to it, and he kills me. So on to game 2, I go first, obviously, and let's see. Opening hand is Teus Squad, called by Impulse Shrine, and his hand is Ash double field spell double nib. So interesting here. So yeah, obviously we just start with Teus Squad. This is a really good opener, and I don't think he ashes the Teus here. No, he does not ash the Teus. Yeah, does not ash the Teus. For a second, I thought I was missing a card, but I'm not. No. So then Squad summons Prince. Squad sends Dragoons, and this is a good. And so this makes sense if your opponent opens Squad. I mean Teus. If your opening play is Teus, you're adding Shrine. If you didn't add Shrine off of Teus, then that means you're either banking on adding it off of Prince, or you're then you already opened it, and so it's kind of one of the two. But I think that's a pretty good hand trap to hit, especially after seeing the Teus, because that's your other Shrine option. And since I didn't add it here, the potential of me not having the Shrine, I could see. Or you just save the Ash for the Shrine, but it's kind of hard to save because if he does let that go through, then I'll get to Minstrel, and then Minstrel would just hit the Ash Blossom that way. So I guess that's probably the right play because that makes this Minstrel kind of awkward, I think. But yeah, so we go Minstrel pitch Squad. I look at his hand and I'm like, wow, that is tough. So I have to kind of like so I'm understanding that you can't just go full combo now. I kind of have to like do something else. Let me know if this mouse is too loud for you guys. This is, we'll see how that goes when I watch the recording. Listen, guys, it's really early. Okay, it's like 5:30 in the morning, and I'm dying. But yeah. So real quick, our Shrine added a new taste to hand for follow-up from next turn. I have squad under Yugioh, and then I attempt to leave main, I believe, yeah, and then he attempts to activate Nib, but I only have 4 summons, and God, I hope I'm right. I have Yugioh 1, Squad 2, Teus 3, Prince 4. Yes. Am I missing a card? I don't think so. No, this is fine. Yep. Okay, so yeah. So I have Gaios with, and I also discarded the call by for the squad effect because I thought the impulse might be a little bit stronger going into just being able to hit any type of special summons seemed like it'd be pretty relevant. Just because I don't know what he's gonna have. And Gaios is a really good out here because so I have the Gaios here. So because I know he has cash cards because I looked at his hand, and I know he can't attack into me. I know I can get a Prince off of the squad detached, and he still can't attack the Prince either because he has to deal with the Gaios, and so I'm leaving him on one top deck, and then that one top deck, I have Impulse prepared to deal with whatever Fiendsmith line he decides to go into. So yeah, so he goes for Unicorn effect. I'm thinking, yeah, there's no point in not activating here. Stops him from getting a birth, and I get my Prince. He can't attack anyways, and then yeah, it goes Fiendsmith line. Once he gets to Requiem, I have the Impulse, and yeah, so now just to fast forward this a little bit to finish out this match, or this round, this game. Shocking the Prince right away. Going to Presidra for protection from Nib. Although I definitely could have probably ordered this line a little better. And as I was grabbing Minstrel, I then realized, wait, why am I grabbing Minstrel again? But you just hard summon the Megalo, attack twice, and that is also 4 summons again. Because we had Gaios here, we had Prince, and then we had like Megalo, Pike, and something else. But yeah, game 3, a little more interesting, I think. So we'll just kind of let him run through his combo right here real quick. Start the field spell. Oh, and real quick, my hand here, I actually feel this is the kind of hand that it's actually pretty good. It looks a little intimidating playing this hand into what I already know is going to be like a full Fiendsmith combo, but the deck honestly performs really well into this deck, and I've only played against Fiendsmith Bystials, Fiendsmith decks really like a half dozen times at most, and I'm fine, and I'm already starting to kind of realize the line and like what to do. The only interesting play here that happens is he summons Engraver here. He summons Engraver here, and then he goes to make a Wave King Caesar. And if we look at his graveyard, you can see he has Lubellion, Lacrima, and Requiem. Now, I don't know this deck too well, but I do know that Joshua Schmidt says you want to banish Requiem. So Requiem, he can't banish that for a Bystial play. I don't think you banish Lacrima either. I'm literally reading these cards like thoroughly for the first time as we're doing this match, and I'm like actually reading how the effect works. It took me long enough, but Lacrima, yeah, it sounds like a one of, and it probably is a one of in his deck, so you don't want to banish that either. That's his recursion every single turn too, and then you can't banish Lubellion, or then you're not, because then you're not summoning out Lubellion, and yeah, so you can see he's kind of in a pickle right here. And me being a nice guy, all right, I literally type it out knowing what he's gonna do. Let him put it back, make an IP, and then so now he can Magnum summon, search, summon Lubellion, and then Baldrake. He summons Baldrake, I think to get the draw off, yeah, because he had to summon Magnum to get the Lubellion field, then Lubellion places regained, and then he summons Baldrake. It does remind me, I do have one misplay, not one misplay. I have one misplay. So, getting into the board state here, I know about everything I know about is I know he has a Lacrima Grave, so I know he has the trap. I know he has a Fenrir. I know he has a Unicorn. I know he has a Baldrake. In case you guys don't know what Baldrake does, is when your opponent summons an extra deck monster or a ritual, he can tribute another light monster, and then I think it's banish it. Yeah, target one of those special monsters, banish it. So not bad. Yeah, IP, and I know he has Drewsworm in hand, and then 2 unknowns. So the 2 unknowns, Drewsworm, Unicorn, Fenrir, Baldrake, IP, and Lacrima. So that's what we're dealing with here today. Now, Now to kind of like go over, I don't really know how I want to start into this. So here's what I know. My game plan was at the beginning. I knew that my game plan was going to start with a pike infantry because pike was the best monster to. Pike would provide me a body right away. So like the search right away rather than like Teus. Like if I activate Teus here and like I reveal in hand send infantry, then there's a window where if he was to react to me and I use droplet, I would have to send and I had to send Teus for some reason, then I lose the search off Teus. So being able to normal pike right away and then activate the search is the better play here. Yeah, that was a little bit of a ramble. I don't know, but yeah. So we'll just get into it. What am I doing? So we start with normal summon pike, discard infantry to add squad, and now resolution. He's gonna go the Castira cards. I am activating infantry as chain link 1, and now I go to target the Baldrake. But I think I was playing a little too fast in my head, thinking the Baldrake was going to be more of a problem than it actually was. But Baldrake does not deal with Prince, and that's the only card I was actually concerned about it dealing with. Now I do wish I read Birth, and now it kind of worked out in my favor, but that was the one awkward play here. So my infantry probably should have targeted the Birth to pop. That or the regained, because you don't really need to worry about the monsters on the field. One, because we have droplet. Two, because another out for Baldrake is Yugioh, which is a typical play I've done against these Fiendsmith boards. And then you don't really need to worry about the monsters in terms of removal because we have Zelantis. That's kind of the out on how you deal with like these big boards and go for lethal. So I chained the pike here to Fenrir and Unicorn, sending Megalo and Pike to hit the Unicorn and IP. So this is a really cool play here because he activated Fenrir, targeting the Pike, but we dodge, so that technically deals with the Fenrir. We deal with the Unicorn banishing anything for the extra deck, although he probably would have banished Poseidra or Coral Enemy, which is Coral Enemy is pretty strong too, actually. Probably the strongest because it also cuts off revivability and the Zelantis line, cuts the IP, and then we just leave the Baldrake on board. Unnegated. Oh, but we pop it with the infantry. So that's why in my head I was thinking, oh, that's a nice play. But in hindsight, that didn't really matter because, okay. So he activates Burst here on Resolution, which is when your opponent activates a spell card or effect and you control a Castira monster, target the cards your opponent's grave, banish them. I did not read that. So he banished all my waters, which is unfortunate, losing out in the 1 of infantry, by the way, in a 40 card list. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so then our next line is Teus Squad. I feel pretty safe here. This is where I would be getting hit with a non-engine card. But yeah, so I special Teus. So he just changed regain, sends back the Baldrake, and I was like, oh wow, that hurts. But then now I'm reading it, and I'm like, wait a minute, I actually didn't ever care about the Baldrake. So that's when I realized it was kind of fine. So I didn't get punished for that, but there's a world where I should. I'll take a quick water break. So yeah, we add the Shrine of Teus, and then we summon Prince off the squad. Prince sends Dragoon to add Dragoons. Now we're just going to kind of start playing through his board. Then Dragoons and Gravegrass to Prince. The reason I do that was in case I want to be able to use Prince for my Shrine Tribute, or any other reason. But basically, in case I want to get Prince's effect from hand, from discarding from hand rather than using it from field and having the body available. Don't know if that was like the most optimal play. I just didn't know what else to pick at the time. I guess like you could have also grabbed Minstrel there, and I also forgot to side out Moulin Glacia, which is funny because it comes up. But so I could have grabbed Moulin as well here. But yeah, so we go Minstrels, then Dragoons, and then Dragoons. This is where I'm counting my grave and I'm seeing 3 waters, and I'm like, wow, I can actually just Moulin this fool, and I can just hit his last 2 unknown cards that way, because he's probably not gonna let me hit his Juice Worm. So, and if he did, then maybe I would put him on having Nib. If he didn't just if he didn't chain the Juice Worm to the Moulin. So yeah, here we go Yugioh, which is the best play into Baldrake because he activates Baldrake. We chain Yugioh. We have protection, so we deal with the Bystial. He has to pay cost still, and then we just go right into a Poseidra. And so I never really knew what was the right time to activate Poseidra. The awkward thing about this Poseidra into Fiendsmith is that you don't actually want to send back their monsters. Like Poseidra is really only here for the back row. and nib protection. So if anything, he's here for nib protection. Although I feel like I probably should have activated. Oh, so he's going through the Fiendsmith cards here, which is all fine. But I feel like I probably should have activated Poseidon sooner. I just didn't know. Just so I could put cards in the grave. You know, send a minstrel for a porpoise play, or send a dragoons just to get another search. But yeah, so there's a big thing here, and like basically think about how I get around this this play. And here's what we came up with. So we Shrine Tribute the Prince on grave. I mean on field, because we need Moulin, because we want to actually activate Moulin, and we want to discard for DeepSea King. So we needed the waters in hand. Our Prince attributed effect summons back Dragoons, and we add DeepSea King to hand here, because there's a pretty cool, interesting line that I didn't really think about doing until now, and I'm gonna start doing it more so into like the into Fiendsmith boards. So I think this just further helps our Fiendsmith matchup. So I'm not 5 water, so I summon the Moulin. Now I'm really what I'm checking here is not only am I checking to see if I can waste his Paradise on my Moulin, but I also just want to clear his hand, clear Nibiru. There's a lot of options here, and I think I still play pretty decently afterwards. But yeah, he lets me discard his hand. He summons a Juice Worm, thinking the Juice Worm is going to do anything, and then I get to draw off of the Regain, which is the Engraver. That's another card you could have also popped with the Infantry. I definitely think just popping either the back row is better than trying to pop the monster. But yeah, we link off Moulin and a token for Abyss Keeper, and Abyss Keeper's effect is on summon to summon DeepSea King, so we can't deal with it with Paradise there. And now that we have DeepSea King here and Dragoons, it's looking pretty meaty. And then he goes Paradise, attempts to target the DeepSea King, and this is where like, wow, not only like this is definitely the way we want to be playing into Fiendsmith. When they have all these targeting cards going on, is this is amazing. Being able to dodge the Paradise by getting the DeepSea King in hand first, and then summoning off the Abyss Keeper. And whenever you do this line, you always have the targeting protection. So now we just get to tribute off the Abyss Keeper, and he's like, oof, that's not it. That is not it indeed. And from here, we're just pretty safe. So now we're activating Poseidra, and I started playing a little faster from here too. I put all of his three spells back in his hand because I didn't know what else to put there. But yeah, from this point, we're playing a lot faster because everything here is just about known. So we activate DeepSea King, discard Minstrel, summon Double Pike. I do wish there was a world where I could have Minstrel, discarded Prince, and then still looked at his hand and kept playing. But I just did have, I needed one more water for that. Yeah, we activate, we make Bahamut here with our 1 Dragoons and Pike. Get a Toad for nib protection, then we go Coral and then Minstrel. We really just want to go through Coral here so we can turn on Zealantis. And now we make Zealantis to 4 bodies. Poseidra discards Prince, summon back Minstrel, Shrine, and Squad. And now here we can synchro into the Chenning. I need to do that so I can make up 5 free slots so the Zealantis can come back. And then here we activate Zealantis, banishing the whole board, which is just so nutty. And I will say, and so then we link off Shrine and Squad. And okay, oh my god, I know, this is brutal. I completely forgot he was even here. Toad has to leave. He had 1 card in hand anyways, but yes, Toad has to leave. He can't come back because it wasn't properly summoned. But I still think that's the right play because because it basically puts him on. And basically, if he wants to nib your board, it has to be after everything else happened. Now, it's not great that I put these, honestly, that I put like this back in his hand. That probably should have stayed in the field spell zone. But also wouldn't matter because he had birth. So yeah, we were definitely losing if this 1 card hand was nib, 100%. Which him going first and probably a 40-ish card hand, it's likely. I mean, he drew a few times, but yeah. So we just have battle phase here, and yeah. So Lacey is pumping up both these guys. This is also how I won. The Toad was not there. There was no Toad versus my Fiendsmith opponent at locals. But the match cuts out in game 3. By the way, just putting that out there. But yeah, so 500 boosts in Zealantis, 500 boosts on Chenning, plus 1100 from all the banished cards. So yeah, this is more than enough for game, and yeah, we take it. So we take it against Fiendsmith Bystial, and I actually feel pretty comfortable in this matchup now. being able to do this on DB as well, where I'm a little more nervous, definitely helps solidify that this is a pretty nice matchup for us. But yeah, let me guys know what do you guys think of these kind of games, these walkthroughs. I was also thinking if you prefer this instead, I was thinking I could actually just record. I could actually just record and then play a match, and it's just, and so then and I'm just kind of like thinking out loud as I'm playing the match out, like a live match rather than like watching over a replay. But let me know what you guys think. I think this was cool. I think I like this. Yeah, that'll do it. And peace, guys.